What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. And yes, I know it's been a while since I posted a video. It's been a little while since I posted a video, but whenever I'm not posting videos regularly, which regularly for me is probably like maybe once or twice a week, maybe. But whenever I don't post a video after a certain amount of time, it's not because I'm not doing any recording. It's just that I got a lot of other things going on, a lot of other not just projects, but a lot of things going on outside of projects with cars, you know, like work and family things that I have to attend to. But anyway, man, I want to just give a quick video on something I've been working on the Chevelle that I think I finally figured out my problem. And let me say this at the very beginning. You know, I ask those that be watching the channel and those that have been watching the channel, and want to first of all just give a big thumbs up to all those who have subscribed to my channel and are just checking out the content that I'm putting out. I know I'm not posting content 2 or 3 times a day like some of the YouTubers are. I really am not a YouTuber. I just like recording some of the stuff that I'm doing, putting it on my channel, and if it's a benefit to somebody that's watching, somebody might be doing that same thing, working on that same kind of project, or just getting ideas, you know, that's cool with me. That's, you know, I'm not trying to get monetized. I'm not trying to, you know, get a check from YouTube. I'm not trying to do none of that. I just do recording and then I throw it up. I don't even really do a lot of editing. I do some, but not a whole lot, because that's just not my thing. But what I do want to say again is a big thumbs up to those who have subscribed to my channel. I appreciate that a whole lot. It is a motivating factor for me continuing to post videos. When I see people subscribing, people checking it out, people leaving comments and things like that, that does give me a little motivation to keep posting. I continue working on cars. I'm continuing to work on the classics, but posting the videos, that gives me that motivation to record, do a little bit of editing, and then post videos. But anyway, let me show you guys what I'm working with now. I have been wanting to do this for some time now. I finally got my flapper door right here. I got that thing all installed in. I'm not going to go into how to install it because it's fairly straightforward, fairly simple. It's not too difficult. Well, let me say this. It's a lot easier if you take the hood off. I've watched a few videos where a couple of people have talked about putting that flapper on and how easy it is with the hood off, opposed to doing it with the hood on. My hood is on. It's not on permanently. It's not painted, but I didn't want to mess with taking that hood off, especially not by myself. I thought about having my son give me a hand, but then I'd have to get him back over here to help me put it back on. Plus, man, I went through a HD hockey sticks to get this hood on, get it dialed in. The gaps on it are nice and perfect. Not every single one of them, but for the most part, they're nice. I didn't want to take the hood off, so I put mine on with the hood on. So yes, it is possible to do it, but it is a little bit more challenging, a little bit more difficult, but it is possible for those who are wondering if they have to remove the hood to put it on. You don't have to. But so I got that on, but I had a problem, YouTube. I had a problem because what I did is I grabbed my intake. I pulled. So those of you that know these flapper doors on the Chevelle hoods are super iconic for the Chevelle. You know, it just gives it that real, to me, that real muscle car, you know, fast, you know, little bit different than other, you know, muscle cars look when that little flapper is just flapping and flapping and flapping, you know, when you're giving it gas. So I wanted to put that on there. I know it's not it's not functioning as it's supposed to, because of course this is an LS motor and not a carbureted motor with the filter on top, which that's what it's really designed for. But I still like that and I wanted that, so I decided to go ahead and get the hood for that. So yeah, so I put that on. Another quick shout out to Goose Performance on YouTube. You can follow him on YouTube. I may put his link on the description here. But Goose Performance, he has a really good tutorial video, YouTube video on how to put these on. There's a few people that show how to install them on there. That's on YouTube. His is pretty informative and pretty straightforward. And he shows, you know, on how to get it to work with the LS motor and whatnot. Pretty much these things are pretty much just ran off vacuum. You just got to find a vacuum, well, it's a LS or carbureted. You just got to find a vacuum source. I found a vacuum source from my mid-rise intake here, which is at the very back. There's like 3 ports at the very back up under the bottom. The problem that I had was I couldn't reach those 3 ports on the back because they're up under the bottom. And I didn't want to take this thing back off because everything is working fine. No leaks, none of that. I ain't got no issues. And if I ain't got no issues, I ain't trying to make no issues. So, and I thought maybe if I could just take my intake off, my cold air off, and then I would reach my hand up on it, I still couldn't reach the thing. So what I ended up doing is I had already put 2 plugs in there, 2 lines in there. One was for my I think it's my mass airflow sensor, or my MAP sensor, that goes to my Terminator X. And then I had another line that I had already plugged on there that sent air to my catch can over there. So what I ended up doing was, because I couldn't reach the plug under there, because I have 2 more left. I think it was a total of 4. I have 2 more left. I couldn't reach them, so I took one of the lines that was going to my catch can and I cut it. You can actually see this is the line that I cut right here. I already installed the piece, but I cut it and put a T on it, teed it off, and then I attached this other line to that right there, and that's how I was able to pull my air from my intake. And hold on, YouTube, I'm gonna go get my other part. There's another part that I'm missing that I thought I brought out here. Give me 1 second. Let me set this camera down for a second here. See if I can go grab this thing here. Set you right here. Hopefully this thing ain't gonna fall on me. Probably gonna fall. Then I'm really be upset. So yeah, maybe I'll just kick it just like that. Give it a little kick here. Let it lean. I'm trying to just set this thing somewhere where yeah, see, he's about to fall right there. That ain't gonna work. He don't like that. How about that right there? Give me 1 second, YouTube. Okay, here we go. So this is the part right here that I was that connects to the part that I showed you that was cut, and this is just a one-way valve. Well, not really a one-way valve. It's just like a pressure release valve. So it allows the flapper to release the pressure and allows the door to close slowly instead of it slapping down. And again, all this stuff is on YouTube. If you search YouTube, you'll see a lot better videos than what I'm showing, explanation of this than what I'm showing. And then I don't know if you can see it in here, but yeah, you might be able to see it in here. I can't show you, but you can see that this guy right here, it's right there. Well, those are the screws, and I cut some little rubber stoppers and put on the top of the screw. That allows it to not bang down. So you can hear how that sounds. It sounds, I don't know if it sounds loud on the camera, but it's not loud in person. Well, that allows for that flapper to drop back down and not slap against the metal, which causes a lot of noise. But the problem that I had, and again, because I'm a novice, you know, a lot of the stuff I do by trial and error, I went online and I bought all my parts. But when I bought the actuator that actuates the door, they had a bunch of them online. And because I didn't know, I ended up buying the wrong one, plugged it all in, and the thing would not work. I had good suction, but when I hit the gas, the door is supposed to open up. It wasn't opening up. And the problem that I found out was this actuator that I bought was the wrong one. Although it has the suction in it that allows it to go down and then push the door back open, this was one for an AC vent or some kind of vent in the car, and I couldn't figure out. You can actually see when I should have known it when I first bought it, but of course, you know, I'm just trying stuff. But you can see this one here, this part right here that screws into the little hole that's on the flapper, I bent it. I turned it so that this would line up with the hole when I bolted it in to the bracket that's up underneath the hood. Didn't work. Found out that I had the wrong one. This is the one that you're looking for. That it's actually almost the same size, but it's just a little bit bigger than the wrong one. But this one here, this piece here is already turned in the direction that it needs to go to attach onto the flapper door to open and close. Plus, to open and close it. Plus, you can't easily push this down by your hand. It takes a little bit of force to push that down. Whereas with this one, it's pretty easy to push down. And how I realized I had the wrong one was because I realized that that door is supposed to stay open when the engine is off, because there's no air, there's no suction to this thing. When the engine in the car is turned on and the engine is running, the air suction is applied to the flapper, which sucks this thing down right here, which pulls the flapper closed. Then when you hit the gas, it stops the suction from coming, which releases then the flapper and causes the door to come back open. And that was my issue. And how I knew it was the wrong one was because whenever I would turn the car off, my door or flapper would stay closed. And it's not supposed to stay closed because this flapper here is strong enough to keep that thing pushed up, but you have enough force from the motor, from the engine, suction pulling, that suction is strong enough to close it. So that's what I found out. Finally got the right one. I'm finna install this thing on, and I'll cut you back on once I get it installed and give you a little peek at how this thing works. Hopefully it works like it's supposed to, and I got enough suction from the intake to close this thing. I don't know how many PSIs you need for this thing to close, but I think I got enough, and it should work. But in the event that it doesn't, you know, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna figure something out to get this thing to work. There's no sense in having it on here if it's not gonna work. And another thing I just realized looking at my hood, man, I don't have the holes already dialed in for my cowl induction letters that go on there, and I don't like that, man. I gotta put those holes on there myself. I was hoping that it came with it already, but there are not even any indentations or anything that shows that. Another quick thing just before I get off of this camera and then try to put this thing on is this deal here is held on with 4 screws, 2 on this side and then 2 on the other side. I didn't buy the screws that came with it, nor did mine come with it, but I found screws that fit the hood that you can screw up under the bottom. Just a little tip, make sure you get the right length screws and don't get longer ones. Just because you're putting a washer on there thinking that it's going to shorten it up and it'll, well, I did that, and you can, I don't know if you can see, but I was screwing it in, and it's a good thing I was watching it, because you could barely, I don't know if you can see, but right there, you can see I just barely pushed up on my brand new hood with the bolt. My bolt was too long, so I had to turn around and get shorter bolts to go in there. But thankfully I didn't wrench on it too tight and pop a big dent in there. That's not really nothing. You could barely feel it when you go across it, but I'm sure when my painter gets ready to paint it, he can take care of that for me there. And then also, this thing here does have some adjustability on it. So if it's too high, there's a couple screws up under here. Those little bump stops that I showed you, those can adjust whether or not this is up like this, or if you want it down further. Also, the bolts that hold this thing on, that bolt to the hood, they have washers that you can buy if you need to bring it up, you know, or need to lower it down. If it's too high, you can put those washers in there and lower it down. All right, too, that's enough huffing and puffing. I just got off work, so I'm gonna try to get this thing on and open this garage door, hopefully back this car up a little bit, just so I can let it run for a minute and let you guys check this thing out, and let's see if it works. Get back to you in 2. Peace. All right, too, we back, and I think I got her dialed in now. I didn't change anything on here except for the first pod that I put on here. I had to kind of hone out the hole where the screw goes, and then I had to make a few little adjustments on it to get it to line up with the screw on there. I didn't have to, with the hole on this pod, to the threaded hole on the flapper. So there's a little threaded hole on the flapper, that the hole on that little pod thing that I was showing you, you put the screw through there, and then you screw that through the hole that's on the flapper, and that's how that thing is locked in. I didn't have to do any adjustments on this one here. All I basically did is I put the plug back in. I don't know if you saw the little flow valve that I put on there, but there's just like a copper side, and then there's a black side to that flow valve. Well, the black side needs to go up towards the actuator pod. So I just put that thing back on, bolted it all down, and I can already tell that it should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. And why I say that is because on the other one that I put on, this guy right here, when I put it on, which was the wrong one, my flapper wouldn't stay up. It would just go down, and then when I turned the car on and hit the gas, it wouldn't move at all. And when I turned the car on, the suction would keep it sucked down, but it wouldn't move up and down. How I know this is working now is because my pod is up, and that's because of the diaphragm inside of this pod, which is what I thought all along when I first bought this. Honestly, guys, I thought this diaphragm wasn't strong enough to hold that flapper up, because I could just push this easily with my thumb. Now, flapper doesn't weigh a whole lot, but I just thought if it just rested on there long enough, it would easily push that down. So that's how I know it works. But I'm going to start this bad baby up and just see if my predictions are true. So the way it's supposed to work is when I turn the car on, may not start right away, I don't know, but the suction from the motor should close this thing, and then when I hit the gas, it should open. So look at that digital, man. That Dakota Digital, them gauges, Terminator X, Terminator X. Let's see here. looking at something else. Hold on, guys. Well, you can see how it just opened back up. It opens up as soon as you turn the car off because there's no more suction coming from the motor. Then I can cut it back on. You see how it slowly drops down? That's that pressure valve, that flow valve there. This thing needs a tune bad, man. It needs a tune bad. I gotta get this tune put on here and quit starting it up without the proper tune on it here. But now you see how that thing suctions, it slowly goes down instead of just flapping down. And it should pop open when I hit the gas. Oh yeah. Slowly drops back down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's it, guys. That's it. She's chopping. She's chopping. Another thing you can see, I got my rear ballast on there. That's all set up. Those pipes are right, perfect where they need to be. Oh yeah, that's just how I wanted it. I don't think you'll even see those bolts once I put my license plate on there. Yes, sir. Got the rear bumper on. All of this stuff I just got mocked up. And see, I got my new trim on. It's all on there just being mocked up. My son even let me borrow his older door panels just to get those on and make sure my power windows I put on, power door locks and all that good stuff is functioning properly. Oh yeah. Yes, sir. Man, I like those hood hinges. Those bad boys open up really good. Yes, sir. See, I got the front bumper on. I put the front bumper on. Everything I got on now is just on to be mopped up. I even got my headlights in there. Let me turn them on real quick. Got them halos, man. Got them halos going. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Some halos. I got to get new lenses here and new chrome pieces there, but I get that later. I got to take this chrome off of the grill because this is all going to be painted black, but this will stay chrome. But yeah, she's all buttoned up, man. She's all buttoned up in LEDs. The halo's going. Then I got the LEDs in the back. Yes, sir. Bill, I talked to him about this already, this gap. He's gonna fix this gap for me along here. I think that little piece right there, if you can see that, that needs to be cut. Then I can adjust this up a little bit more. That will give my gap a little bit better, a better gap. It'll probably be more like this side over here. Oh yeah. Woo, we getting there, man. We getting there. Oh yeah. She's sounding good. She's sounding good. Dakota Digital is on there too. Oh yeah. She's sounding really nice. See if my light is on, I can't tell. This should be, I thought that light should be on, but maybe it only comes on with the headlights on or something. Oh, that light should come on. I don't know why that's not coming on. I gotta look at that. But yeah, man, that's it. I got that flapper working. Got that flapper working, man. So she's good to go. All right, guys, I'm gonna get done. I just got off work a little while ago, and I wanted to put that thing on and make sure it's working properly. And thankfully, it is. So I'm gonna sit down and get me something to eat. I'm gonna call it a night. I ain't got nothing else to do on this car. And after this, pretty much, just going to the body shop, going to the paint shop. There's nothing really more for me to do. Only thing else I think is my front spoiler down here on the bottom. I want to get that so that could be painted the same color as the car, or I might just leave it black. I don't know yet. That will be the last thing. The very final thing that I got to do though, I got to figure out what color this car is gonna get painted. That I have. I got 3 colors that I'm contemplating and thinking about, but I just haven't locked in on any. But I know the day he calls me and says, hey man, I'm ready to spray this thing, I'm gonna have a color for him, man. And once it's done, it's done. I ain't gonna trip. I'm gonna enjoy this car. I'm gonna have fun. And yeah, it's gonna be nice. All right, YouTube, catch you on the next one. Peace.